there's a huge perception about cricketers that just because we have big contracts and we get paid a lot of money for playing IPL and for playing this, that we don't care about our performance or we don't care about the sport, which is never the thing for us. I don't think it was ever about money. A lot of success that we've had in the World Cup is also because of how prepared he is and how he's always 2 steps ahead of the game. I've never seen anyone do it better than Rohit. I don't think any of us can ever be compared to MS Dhoni. All of us in the team, when you say leader, when you say captain, the first name that comes to our mind is MS Dhoni. And suddenly when I become the leader, if I start jumping around and start yelling at people, then they'll also sense, they're also smart enough to sense that, okay, he's not being himself.
In your own way, can you give us like a recap of the World Cup?
No, I don't want to. It still hurts. I don't want to go there.
Hi KL, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. हमें कल पता चला कि आपको कैप्टन अपॉइंट किया है साउथ अफ्रीका ओडीआई सीरीज के लिए. So how does that feel?
Yeah, good. I mean, I was captain in the last series before the World Cup as well. And I've captained a few series already in the last couple of years, so it's not very new. But yeah, I do enjoy the leadership role, being the captain. You obviously have a little extra responsibility to look after the other 15 guys and make sure that we all play well, we all play together and win games. And I know how much, how high the expectation is from the fans at home, that Team India has to win every tournament, has to win every game that they play. So yeah, it's fun.
So how do you plan on taking on the South African challenge?
As it comes, I mean, I'm not really planning too much, or haven't started planning right now. There's still a couple of weeks to go, and usually it's when, for me, how I played my cricket or how I go about my game is that once we get to a country where we're playing, that's when I really start thinking about what I need to do and come up with a game plan. Yes, during this time there will be a few days, or I will have a few practice sessions where I have the learnings that I've had from my previous trips in South Africa and the conditions that we'll have to face. I'll try and prepare in advance for that and be as best prepared as I can individually. And yeah, once I reach South Africa, then we still have a couple of practice games. You meet the other players, see what mindset they're in, how I can help them, how I can get the team together to go on the field, enjoy themselves, and put up good performances. We'll have a few chats about that, and then yeah, we've all been playing cricket for so long, and the guys who come into the team, there are a few new guys. They also have been playing a lot of cricket. They have a bit of exposure through IPL and everything. So excited to see them coming into the Indian team and getting their opportunities. So I'll share some of my experiences when I first came into the team and try and calm their nerves down. And yeah, just South Africa is a tough place. India has never won a series there. And that says a lot about how challenging South Africa has been for the Indian team. So in a way, we'll take that up as a new challenge and see how we can change that, how we can change history, and go out there, prepare well, and enjoy ourselves and try and win as many games as we can.
All the best.
Thank you.
Actually, you're the first cricketer that I'm interviewing. So I've always been curious about this one thing. So मैं अभी आज आपसे पूछ लेती हूँ. How does it really feel to be an Indian cricketer?
I don't know. Each day is very different. ऐसे नहीं कि every day you're very happy that you're an Indian cricketer.
पता है इंडिया में ना क्रिकेट को एक रिलीजन की तरह देखा जाता है और क्रिकेटर्स को देखा जाता है डेमी गॉड्स की तरह. So ऐसे में when what you do and who you are has such a big impact. Does it take effort to be normal?
No, I think it takes effort to not be normal or not be yourself. That takes a lot of energy out of you when you're trying to pretend. And I don't think many of us pretend we are who we are, but we also understand that there are certain things that certain parts of ourselves that we can't show khulke or very openly, because that will also be judged. But off the field, we're as normal and as simple as any of your friends that you've grown up with, or anybody sitting here. We're all the same. There's nothing, we don't carry the tag of, oh, कि मैं Indian cricketer हूँ, I'll walk differently, I'll eat differently. No, we're all very simple, very normal people. But on the field, yes, I mean, we do realize that we have certain gifts that we were blessed with, and we have the opportunity to play and make a lot of people happy, the viewers happy, and the fans, come in big numbers to support us. So सबको, we have that ability to make all of them happy or sad or angry. We have that ability. So yeah, that's all it is. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं. Yes, there's a bit of pressure at times of performance, of lot of expectations from people. Sometimes you don't deliver. Sometimes you fail. Your performance goes up and down, and sometimes you're the reason that you don't win a game. You drop a catch, and you get a lot of hate and criticism for that. But that's also part of the job, and you learn along your journey that you learn along the journey how to handle both the good and the bad days.
Are you spiritual? Like,
Yeah,
do you believe
yeah.
in God?
Yes, I do. I've always been, I come from a family that's very religious. So, my faith in God has always been really strong. But like every other young person in our country growing up, you have your moments where your belief is not as strong sometimes. I've been through that journey as well, but I think in the last couple of years I've my faith in God or my belief has become a lot more stronger.
आपके कोई superstitions हैं? Like, do you have superstitions right before the game? Something like that.
एक दो है actually. I mean, whenever I step onto the field, I step right foot पहले जाता है.
Okay.
I touch the ground and say a small prayer before I walk into the ground every time. Left side के pad पहले पहनता हूँ. Yeah, just these things.
ऐसा कभी हुआ है कि गलत फुट पहले रख दिया और फिर गेम थोड़ी चेंज हो गई?
नहीं, कभी नहीं. It's just become such a habit now. From when I've been playing 12, 13, 11 years old, it's always been it's always been that way, right leg first. So we, for so many years I've done so. Never will I step with the left foot first.
It's muscle memory now.
Yeah, it is muscle memory fully. Yeah.
एक चीज पूछूं? What is peace for you?
I think for me, at least, it is being comfortable in your own skin, being comfortable in the place you are in your life, being happy with who you are, what you are, how far you've come in life, and just having gratitude for whatever's happened in your life, the good and the bad. And if you, I'm not saying that happens to me all the time, but that is something that I keep reminding myself that I'm very lucky to be in a position today that I'm in. And so when I do that, I feel like I'm put myself in position where I can find a lot more peace than when I'm trying to chase something that's not really in my control. Like in sport, yes, you always have to chase excellence. You always have to chase, being consistently performing for your team. But in all of that, I still want to never try and aim too high. Just do what is in my control. Just like I was saying before the interview, jitna karna hai, utna I will do, and then rest is up to the universe. To jitna the universe feels I'm ready for, I feel like I will get that much. So yeah, that is for me. If you can be in that mindset and if you can be in that space, I think you'll find a lot of peace in your life.
पता है राहुल द्रविड़ की एक बहुत फेमस रील है जिसमें वो बोल रहे हैं that if you're successful at 18 it doesn't mean that you'll be successful at 21 and if you're successful at 21 doesn't mean that you'll be successful at 25 तो एक point के बाद I think all that matters, he says that all that matters is how you handle pressure, how you handle success, how you handle failure, how you handle temperament. So how have you handled it all, because clearly you've done well for yourself.
I think life teaches you in a way that, for me, I'm very grateful that I've gotten this opportunity to play and take up sport as a profession. So I feel like there's a lot of learnings that sport teaches you very early in your life, and only if you're smart enough and you learn the things that sport or life is trying to teach you, only then will you be consistently, won't say successful, but at least be consistent in whatever you're doing. And in my case, it's sport. Like if I can learn from my mistakes, if I can, if I haven't handled success really well, which has happened in my career, that also means at some point you will fall down. And when you fall down, you're smart enough to realize the mistakes you made and learn from it and move on. Only then can you last in whatever profession you're doing. You can last for a longer period of time. So I think whoever's got me to a point are people who are smart enough to learn from their mistakes and keep moving forward. And that's what I've done. I'm not like all these things were taught to me before I started playing, or not. My parents wouldn't have expected that the journey would be the way it has been. They know that when you choose a profession, there will be ups and downs, but they can't prepare you for it. So you have to learn along the way. And yeah, so I think I've done that. Just learn along the way, learn from people's experiences as well. You share dressing room with a lot of successful cricketers. With IPL, you get to meet people from different countries and talk to them about their struggles, about their success and failure, and their learnings about cricket and about life, and just being open to talking to people and learning from them and learning from their journey. That helps you also, be a little bit better prepared for what is to come in your life.
Is there a particular piece of advice that you hold dear to you?
Yeah, I do actually. But it was a cricket advice given to me by one of my favorite cricketers, which I use in life as well. He said, cricket, I've said this in many interviews, people will be bored listening to it again, but it is something that I really hold on to in my life very closely. He said cricket's a very, very simple game. The more simple you keep it, or the more simpler you go about your game, the more rewards the game will give you. At times when you're younger, you think that you're not happy with simple. You're not happy with doing the same things. You always want to do more to achieve more, right? So yeah, that's something that I hold on to very closely. That in life or in cricket, it's as simple as you make it, and the simpler you keep it, the more rewards you will get in life and in sports.
You love cricket, no?
I do. I've not done anything else in my life, so that's my first, last, everything love for me.
What does love mean for you?
Right now, the first thing that comes to my mind when you say love is family. Athiya, my wife, just we've recently been married, so she's brought a lot of love into my life, and made me realize what actually love is. And yeah, family. I've been blessed with beautiful parents. The upbringing that I've had, the person I am today is all because of what they've how they've brought me up, and now I'm blessed with set of great in-laws. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law are one of the the best people that I've met, and I enjoy my time with my family. So love is family.
What is your love language?
What's my love language? Good question. I think it's different with different people.
Okay.
With Athiya, sometimes it is banter, sometimes it is, doing the small things for her. I think what works for her is me remembering the small things and doing it for her, and she gets really happy. So love language also has to be a language that is makes your loved one happy, right? So I try and make them happy by remembering what would make them happy, or they would have told me something. So that's what I do with her. With parents, it's very simple. Just spend time with them. Have coffee, have a meal with them. They're happy, and I know that's what makes them happy. So I try and do that.
That is universal.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like I said, keep life simple. It is simple. Yeah.
Okay. One of my most favorite questions I'll ask you. You know, we're all cricket fans here. I'm a cricket fan. And while the sport interests all of us, जो चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद आती है ना, that is also the romance that has been built around cricket. Right? In fact, I was reading this Facebook post by Virendra Sehgal, and do you mind if I read it out to you?
Yeah, sure.
It's a little caption that he wrote. Very interesting. So he wrote in the caption, I have asked Sachin Tendulkar many times what the zone is. He tells me that's when I see nothing except the ball. I have asked Rahul Dravid the same thing. He says sometimes when he's really in good form, he sees the ball and not even the side screen, the non-striker, the umpire, or who is bowling. I ask, how is this possible? I have never entered that zone. Have you ever entered the zone?
The zone's different for different people. He still managed to get as many runs as he did if he could see a lot more than just the ball. It worked for him. For each person it's very different. For me, I think the zone is when I'm focused more about the job in hand or how I can win the game for my team. That is my best zone. And when you're in that zone, what the greatest players have explained, it is what really happens. You only focus on the ball. So that is mostly the zone for everybody, but also like psychologically what you're thinking, what you're feeling within. So for me, it is to focus on how to win the game rather than, I need to play like this, or I need to do this, I need to do that. When the focus is shifted from I to what the team needs to do, that is for me the best zone to be in.
Okay. Jaise, I think Virat Kohli was playing this match against Pakistan where he hit 2 sixes. So now those 2 sixes became very famous. One of those sixes became iconic. और जब उनसे पूछा that how was he able to hit that 6, he said that I cannot take credit for it because something happened to me in that moment, and it would be disregarding that moment or whatever happened to me, and I still don't know how I did it. So has something like that ever happened to you on the field?
Yeah, a few times I guess you have. Because what happens in cricket is that nothing in terms of how we prepare or jitna hum log practice karte hain, that has never changed. That has always been the same, at least for me, since I've been playing for India, it's been the same. Agar main 1 घंटे के लिए batting करता हूँ, 1.5 hours of gym, that has always remained constant. But that has no relation with the performance on the ground or the success you get on the ground. So some days you're so excited, you're very focused, very disciplined, and you've done all of that, but you go to the ground and you don't end up performing well. And there are some days where you're not as switched on, but you end up playing your best innings of your life. So there's no real answer to, or no real no pattern, or we at least I have not recognized a pattern where, okay, if I do this, I will score all the time. So it's always different. So I guess there are things that, I know that there are things that happen within each person that, sometimes is hard to explain. And we don't really try to look for the answer. Some things that just happen, they're magical. You try and live that moment, and you're happy for what you've done. And then, everyone hopes that it happens more often, but sometimes, some players do it more often than the others. So yeah, cricket also is very, the things that happen on the ground that are truly hard to put in words, and yeah, it is magical.
कोई वैसे पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट आपको याद है रिसेंटली या कभी भी?
Yeah, recently, I mean, I think my first game after I came back from my injury, first game was against Pakistan. I mean, I was not even supposed to play that game. Just before the captain went to do the toss, Shreyas Iyer, during warm up, got a spasm in his back, and I was told, like, at that moment, and I'd not even carried, like, this is the first time that's happened, but usually एक रात पहले बोल देते हैं कौन खेल रहा है कौन नहीं खेल रहा है. If you're playing, you carry extra, like, t-shirts, extra pants, because you sweat and you need a change. I was like, okay, I'm not playing, so I'm not carrying any extras. I carried like one set of clothes, and 5 minutes before they said you're playing. So my first thought was like, shit, I've not even got like things that I need to play. So then from there, I got the opportunity and I went in, and to be honest, I wasn't in like, for me, like, if there is an ideal mindset for me to do well, I was far from it. I was not even like close to being in that mindset. But yeah, things happened. I scored 100, 120, 111 in that game, and through that innings, I was happy that I was back playing cricket for 4 months, 5 months. I was doing physiotherapy, and it's really boring, that phase, and I've had to do it a few times now. Is really, really boring, is very frustrating. So I was just happy throughout the innings that, okay, chalo, at least I'm back now, I'm playing cricket and I'm playing for India, and okay, not ideal way to get my opportunity, but I got it. So my mind was all in that. I was just happy that I'm back, and I was not thinking about, oh, I have to score these many runs, I have to score, I have to build a partnership, or nothing. None of that was on my mind. I was just happy that I was back, and in no time I realized that I'm batting on 98. That's when I realized that, chalo, I'm batting on 90 or 95 is when I felt like, oh, now I have a chance to get my 100. And yeah, till then there was nothing. I was just like in a zone where I didn't know what was I can't say I didn't know what was happening, but I wasn't thinking, or I had no expectations. I was just living each ball and each moment with a lot of calmness. So yeah, things like that have happened before as well. A lot of times in my career where in the last minute I'm told that I have to play, and then I go out there and score. And there are times where I'm playing really well, and then I prepare so hard for a tournament thinking, okay, I've done really well, now I have to do extraordinarily well in the next series, and I prepare like, you just try and the best you can do is to enjoy each day and each moment as it comes.
वो जैसे क्रिकेट लिंगो में ना हमें पता है दैट व्हाट इट मीन्स टू बी इन फॉर्म एंड आउट ऑफ फॉर्म, और वो पिच पे दिख जाता है जब भी कोई प्लेयर खेल रहा होता है. बट एक माइंडसेट लेवल पे हाउ डज वन फील व्हेन वन इज इन फॉर्म? Like, how does it affect the mindset? Does it affect your daily life, your daily routine when you're in form?
When you're in, I mean, firstly, like, in form for outside of cricket world has become jo run bana raha hai, he's in form. Whoever's not scoring runs or not picking wickets is out of form. But for us on the inside, within the cricket group, form is when, like you just said, that zone jo hota hai, when you're in that ideal mindset and ideal space where you will perform well. So at times you are in that zone, but the performance doesn't come. And unfortunately for us, in form is only players who score hundreds, or only players who get 5-wicket haul. But you can be in form and still get that important 40 runs. You can still get that important 15, 20 runs in a T20 game. So it's also how we see it. We don't see form as, we don't relate form with only runs. We also, it's what you're feeling within, how much in control of yourself are you in the middle. That is form for for me, or I think for most of us. When you're what is not in form is when you're not in control of yourself. You just let the pressure get to you. You're thinking about things that you can't control. Like I said, like the ideal mindset for any player to be in is, how can I win the match from here? But when you're not scoring runs, you get in the mindset where it's like, okay, how can I score my 50 today? How can I get my 100 today? And when that happens, that is in form, out of form, according to me. If I can, I don't know if I've explained it well, but that's what at least we feel as cricketers. Yeah.
So ये personal life को भी impact करता है?
It does for some time. But I think if you've had a journey in cricket where आपने from the time you played for your country, or from whenever, if you've seen a lot of ups and downs in your cricket career already, then you don't let it affect as much. I can't say it doesn't affect you at all, but how much it affects you, there's it varies from your experience in your career and how you handled it before. And like I said, how if you can handle success and failure equally, and not be not get too affected by even success or failure, then it's great. But I mean, that's very few. I mean, I at least that I have seen, there are very few that can really or genuinely do that. We do get affected by when we're not playing well. Mostly when you're playing well, then you're still fine. I think a lot of players handle success really well, but handling the times when you're not playing well is still something that a lot of us have to learn how to do better.
Okay, so what is your leadership style like?
Obviously, it's grown over the years. I've been doing it only for the last 4 or 5 seasons, which is 3 or 4 years, and I've learned a lot about my own self, about the things that I do well, the things that I probably must do better. My leadership style, I think, currently is one of the things that I really have learned from other leaders, and what I believe that a good quality of a good leader is for the leader to be himself firstly, and be comfortable in who he is. And I try to do that. Just because I've gotten the leadership role, I'm not trying to be a different person. I'm not trying to be extra hardworking or extra disciplined just to show my team or just to show my teammates that you also need to do this. No, I'm just trying to go on with what I've been doing so far in my life and in my career. Be that person. I feel like that empowers them to be themselves, and as a leader, that's the most important thing, or that's the most important quality you need to have, that will help your teammates also become more powerful, is when you let them be themselves. And that you can do only by, it starts with you. So when you do that, I've realized that players are more comfortable. The players are not competing with anybody. They're happy in who they are. The goal then becomes for everybody, the goal is to win the game or win the tournament, and it all becomes one goal for 15 people. And when you can create that atmosphere, then you've achieved something really good as a leader. And that's something that I try to do as well as I can. I'm also very reserved and like my space, and I don't like a lot of people coming into my space, but that is my personality. And the thing that I've learned is, as a leader, you can't be like that. So what I feel is, if I don't like you coming into my space, I have to respect that maybe you don't like me coming into your space. So for a few years, I was very I let players come to me if they want, and I don't want to be the headmaster, or I don't want to tell you things if you don't want to hear it. If you need something, I was very clear that if any of the players need anything, if you want to talk to me, my doors are open. Please come talk to me. But I realized along the way that you also you have to you have to have a balance. You can't be like that too much. You have to also put yourself out there, go, and sometimes a player might want you to come and talk to him, but he'll never say it. So just understanding each person, building a bond, building a friendship with them, building a relationship outside of the cricketer that he is. That's, I think, the most important thing. If you can connect with your teammates on a human level, on a personal level, then that player will go the distance for you as a leader. He will do anything for that leader, and the greatest leaders in our country have done that really well. So that's something that I've learned as well, and I feel is a very important quality to have. And calmness, and like I said, again, that's also again goes down to who you are. I'm a very calm person, and you won't see me expressing or you won't see too much emotions out of me on the field. And suddenly when I become the leader, if I start jumping around and start yelling at people, then they'll also sense, they're also smart enough to sense that okay, he is not being himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try and I make sure that the dressing room is really, really calm. Whether we win, whether we lose, we're focused on what we need to do. If we've done everything that we can and we've still ended up on the losing side, it's fine. There's you don't really have to break your head about it too much. It happens in sport. The other team also comes to play, and they also can play well.
Yeah.
So you respect that. You respect that the game will go both ways, and you move forward and try and be better next game, learn from your mistakes. So yeah, just keep it as simple as you can.
And I'm sure young players must come to you for advice also.
They do, yeah. But again, it's both ways now. I go to them before the season starts and make sure that they know exactly what I expect from them. And once that conversation is done, if they have doubts, then they'll come to me or to the coach or whoever they feel comfortable. It's also when you say leadership or when you say captain, it doesn't mean that you're the only person in the place of authority or power. A good leader is someone who allows other people also to do their job. Like the coach of the team, it's his job to talk to the players, and there are other batting coaches, bowling coaches. You have to allow them to do their work with players as well.
Yeah.
So it's important that everybody knows their role, starting from captain to coaches to players. So it takes some time. I mean, once you the first few days or few weeks are hard to create that atmosphere and that set everything right. And once you've done that, then it just happens really, really beautifully. And then it changes sometimes with wins and losses. Sometimes it will go up and down, but that's a challenge for the whole leadership group to make sure that the team is as balanced as it can be.
And I think you've had a journey of your own, right? You started young and then you're here right now in the leadership. And I think आपकी एक reel viral हुई थी. It was you, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, all three of you were hugging right after a match, right? So when I think about them, and you've played under Dhoni, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. So what have been some unique characteristics that you've noticed in their leadership?
Yeah, I've said this before also. I mean, there's we've all seen a lot of Dhoni and Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and we all know their style of leadership, and what has stood out is what people have realized, what people have spoken about is what players also feel genuinely. With MS, there was a lot of he's very, very calm, very very chilled out, and like I said, that's one thing that I've learned from him is to create that friendship and relationship with players outside of the field, and be balanced in ups and downs and in wins and losses. With Virat, it's how he gets the best out of players by showing them the way. he's always been a leader that is, led from the front. He will, he worked on his fitness. He became a fitter player, and that showed a lot of us that, okay, we also need to get to that level. And he got us out of our comfort zone in a lot of ways, and he brought a lot of passion and energy, and we played. People and the crowd loved watching us when Virat was the captain. The energy that we brought in. There's always a bit of banter with teams. We were never shy to compete with the other teams. With Rohit, again, he's also very very calm, very very chilled out. He's also very, like I said, he goes to each player and makes sure that every player knows what their role is or what the captain is expecting from them. And there's that open dialogue always, and he's very sharp. Like what I admire about his captaincy is that he's very how prepared he is. He does his homework as a leader. I've never seen anyone do it better than Rohit. He always knows the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition, at what stage of the game, how they play. He knows it all. He's done all of those, all that work behind the scene, and I admire that. And a lot of success that we've had in the World Cup is also because of how prepared he is and how he's always 2 steps ahead of the game. So lucky that I've got a chance to play under these players, and I've also seen them go from being players to leaders. So I think it's in a team environment, everybody sees that journey, and everybody in a way starts preparing their own self. That as you get as you play more and as you become a consistent performer for your team, that the leadership role will come to you at some point, and you try and get ready in your own mind, in your own way.
Yeah. So we noticed during the World Cup that how you've actually, kept your colleagues first when it came to helping them reach their milestones. So do you feel like as a leader, that is the sense of responsibility that you feel in the dressing room?
I think as a person, you need to be like that, not just as a leader. We always talk about putting your team first, and in positions like this, you put your teammates first. You in the team, the very commonly used phrases are, be happy for each other's success, help each other when someone's down, or things like that. So I think when you're in a position to help a teammate without it costing the team or the result of the game, then you must. It's the most basic thing or the most human thing you can do. So I don't think it speaks about what a good leader you are or what a good person you are. I think it's the most basic thing someone would do, and I was in the position, luckily, to do that this time. So I did it. So it doesn't make me any different to any other guys. I know that most of my teammates would do the same if someone else was in that same position, or if I was ever in that same position, they will do the same for me. And there are things that my teammates have done to help me in many different ways, and these are ways of giving it back to your teammates whenever you have the opportunity.
On social media, people call you selfless KL Rahul.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's good.
During the World Cup, आपकी wicket keeping, आपकी batting तो लोगों ने appreciate करी, but one thing that also caught people's attention were your DRS calls. So can you tell us more about that?
I got lucky, that's all I can say. उसमें कुछ है नहीं. There's no you can't prepare for a DRS call, or you can't. There's nothing that you can do before the game that makes you better at taking DRS calls. It's just you get lucky, and also a bit of how focused you are on the game. So that, and I always had the support of the bowlers. I can't take it by myself. Certain decisions I can't take it by myself, but like LBW and everything, you also need the bowler's point of view,
Yeah.
and also how much trust the captain has on you. So yeah, it all worked out quite nicely, and yeah, there's I got lucky with a lot of calls. Yeah.
But post your comeback, there is a lot of chatter on social media where people are comparing you to Dhoni. Whether it is in the way you finish a game, whether it is your decision making skills, whether it is the DRS calls. So, how does that feel?
I don't think any of us can ever be compared to MS Dhoni. We've all, for all of us in the team, when you say leader, when you say captain, the first name that comes to our mind is MS Dhoni, and none of us will ever want to be compared to the great man. But yeah, it's also the things that you see now are, you also have to credit your senior players or the players who have played before you. And I'm not saying all of these things are, you know, only I thought of it. It's something that you've seen, your role models doing it before you. MS has done that a lot of times. So yeah, these are things that I really liked watching the game and having played with him. So yeah, I felt like if I was ever in that situation, I think that's the right thing to do, and yeah, I did that.
In your own way, can you give us like a recap of the World Cup from your point of view, from the team's point of view?
No, I don't want to. It still hurts. I don't want to go there.
One thing that was really heartwarming for a lot of us cricket fans, it was the fielding medal ceremonies. वैसे तो you guys are like multi-millionaire cricketers, but in that moment there was childlike innocence, on everybody's face. Everybody was enthusiastic. So does that, like, it took me back. It took me to, like, it made me wonder about the time why you guys would have picked up the sport in the first place. Maybe just love for the game, for cricket. So did that help the team to bond better?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of the viewers and the fans got to see a side of players that they'd never seen before. Like you said, the childlike innocence, and there's a obviously this huge perception about cricketers that just because we have big contracts and we make we get paid a lot of money for playing IPL and for playing this, that we don't care about our performance, or we don't care about the sport, which is never the thing for us. I don't think it was ever about money. We loved the sport so much, and we dedicated our whole life to do what we're doing right now. So even if you take all of that out, we'll still end up playing cricket, and we'll still end up doing what we're doing. We'll have the same energy, we'll have the same passion. So nothing changes for us. So yeah, this is who we are. This is what players are, and unfortunately, that side wasn't really seen by people before. And it's good in a way that side was also seen by people, and I think they started relating to all of us a lot more after that. That ये भी बहुत ही normal लोग हैं, they're fighting for like a small medal, and they're getting so happy. There's so much emotion in the dressing room. There's singing, dancing, jumping, and to see all of that, that's when I think they realize that we're also a lot more than just big paychecks and big contracts.
I'm sure you have met Rahul Dravid a couple of times, and you must have spoken to him, you must have had your interactions with him. But how was it like to be coached by somebody, and you've said that you've idolized him, right? So how was it like to be coached by somebody in such a high pressure, intense environment, right? Like the World Cup, where the stakes are so high. Like, what have you been learnings from that experience?
Yeah, it's been brilliant since he's become the coach of Team India. He's got a lot of balance and calmness into the team, and we all obviously respect him a lot as a player, and he's been our hero growing up. For a lot of us on the team, we've all watched him and grown up, and we've all tried to idolize Rahul Dravid, and now he's a coach, and I think we have a lot more respect for him now than we used to as a player, because he's a amazing human being. He's a great coach. He was a great player, and it's very hard to find faults in that man, and he's just been very, very good and brilliant with the group. Unfortunate that the few results haven't gone our way, but I think he has really been, I've enjoyed that little. The feeling is a little extra special when I spend time with him, because we're both from the same state. We're both growing up, there was a lot of comparison with me and him, because we come from the same state. Our batting, I tried to bat like him growing up. Names are similar. So even growing up, I always used to go up to him and ask him a lot of questions and try and learn from him. And he's still there at this stage of my career for me to go and speak to him about my game and improve my game. And he's always been very honest with me, and he's really helped my cricket in a lot of ways.
So a lot of young people watch our channel, and I think coming from you, it would mean a lot. So is there something which, like a piece of advice that you would now like to give to the young ones out there who are still figuring their life out?
This is big pressure, actually, trying to give the right advice. Only thing I would like to say is be true to yourself, be true to what you're doing. For me, in my case, it was being true to my game. I realized that everyone's blessed very differently, and be happy with the things that you've been blessed with, and work hard. Yes, I'm not saying you can't be at the same level as somebody else, but get there, but in your own style and in your own way. Don't try to be anybody else, and enjoy that journey of going through ups and downs as well. I think a lot of people only want success now. They want shortcut, and they want to climb up that mountain of success without having to go through the hard yards. And if you get there, then it's great. You're blessed. Be happy about it. But for most people, it's you need to be, and you will have to go step by step, and have a bit of calmness. Don't be in a hurry to get to the top. If you get to the top right away, then you've missed so many learnings along the way, which makes you a stronger person. So enjoy your life, enjoy your journey, be true to yourself, and take whatever comes with a smile in your heart, and you will be rewarded. Like I said, keep it simple. Again, the advice that I got, that's the best advice I think anyone can ever get, is keep life simple, keep cricket simple, and you will get rewarded.
And we have gotten rewarded, keeping it simple and classy with KL Rahul. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.